Thank you very much for coming. Good morning, everyone. So I hope we all recovered well. It's very nice to see so many familiar faces. And some people made a long journey from Brazil. And we have people from Brazil. We have people from Brazil there, here as well. From Japan. Okay. Who else? Okay, I'll find you. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, my name is Alexey Vladyshev. I'm a founder and CEO of Zabbix company, and today my talk will be about basically, the Zabbix, what kind of progress we made this year, and where we are in terms of release of Zabbix 2.2. But first of all, a few numbers. Traditionally, this year we have 152 participants from 20 countries, and this is how top 5 countries looks like, excluding Latvia. Yeah? United Kingdom, number 1. Russia, we have 12 people from Russia. Poland, 8 people, and Poland, this is the first time in our top 5. And the Netherlands, 6 people, and Lithuania, Italy, and Germany, 5 people from each country. Okay, very nice. All right. Okay. So our sponsors today is NTT Technology, our premium partner in Japan, very old friend of Zabbix. The sponsor of the conference is Unirede from Brazil, and Luciana, the CEO of Unirede company, is here on this conference. And we also have SRA OSS, this company is from Japan, our certified partner. So thank you to our sponsors. Okay, I'd like to remind you, please get most of the conference. We have so many, first of all, we have Zabbix team here. All Zabbix team, Zabbix support guys, Zabbix developers, sales and marketing, if you're interested in talking to sales and marketing. And so we have all Zabbix team here, so get your chance, take your chance. Just if you have any Zabbix related questions, so please ask. There are so many very experienced people. They know how to get most of Zabbix. And of course, we have more than 20 people this time. So I guess 22 people, they're also very, very experienced and smart guys. So yes, use your chance. Now, 1 year at Zabbix, I would call it kind of progress report. So what we achieved and what we've made. First of all, last October, we opened subsidiary company in Japan. It's called Zabbix Japan LLC, or LLC stands for limited, basically. And the CEO of Zabbix Japan LLC is Mr. Kodai Terashima, who is here on this conference as well. So the Mr. Kodai and the Kodai made a great job of building Zabbix community, and now he's leading our subsidiary company in Japan. So basically we have 2 offices now, one office, and we may call it headquarters in Riga, and another office in Tokyo. And actually the goal of having office in Japan is to provide support to people in Japan in the Japanese language, and to provide our services, trainings, the technical support, and also a little bit of research of development, and I will talk about this a little bit later. And actually currently we have 18 local partners in Japan. So for example, comparing to the last year, I guess last year we had only 8 partners in Japan. Now, the last year in December, we received an award from the Ministry of Economics as the best exporter among small enterprises in Riga, which is quite a great achievement for us as a company. We are quite a small company, but I think we are doing quite well. So now we have almost 30 people at Zabbix. This is a number of people. And so there are some people joining Zabbix company very soon. So we have more people in Riga office, and we are having more people in Zabbix office in Japan very soon. At this moment, we have 58 Zabbix partners, 10 partners more than we had last year. And as you can see, we cover almost all continents except what? Except Africa. Yeah. And that's it. So basically we have partners almost everywhere. In Canada and the United States, Brazil, Argentina, Australia, in Asia, China, Japan, of course, Russia, and many partners in Western Europe. So the training partnership, that's what we've been actively working on the training partnership last year. Currently, we have 8 training partners in Brazil, Unirede and Alerta Securities, 2 companies. The Belgium Open Future, France Core IT Project, Italy Systematica, and Quadrata di Bellini Dimitri, Japan Entity.com Technology. So, and what's the point of having training partners? The main point is to be closer to our users. So our partners may deliver trainings not only in English, what we traditionally do. So we deliver trainings in English, in Russian, Latvian only. But now training offering is expanded to many different languages. So it's Spanish, the Portuguese, Italian, Japanese, German, and French, and there are some other languages are coming. So that's very nice. So you may okay. So this year we've got more than 200 certified specialists, and I would really suggest you, if you are not certified specialist, I would really suggest to take a Zabbix training. Yeah. Because it's a really good way how to get a knowledge about Zabbix. It's a really good way how to learn more about Zabbix and its best practices. So we cover everything. Even some people, they think they're very knowledgeable. They think that, okay, I know everything about Zabbix. They go to Zabbix training and then they realize, okay, I know only maybe, I don't know, 60% or 70%. There are so many tips and tricks. There are so many best practices you can learn from Zabbix trainings. This is a product we introduced in Japan this year. It's called Zabbix Enterprise Appliance. It's made in Japan. The hardware is from a Japanese company, and it's a very nice appliance, which basically it has no moving parts, SSD only, no fans, no moving parts at all. And it's aimed mostly for smaller and maybe some medium installations, so it may handle around 20,000 of items. Basically, it's maybe a few hundreds of hosts, the maximum. Yeah, and of course there are some limitations on the number of history stored on the appliance. But this product, we made a very good start in Japan, and we sell it in Japan only currently. We're investigating different possibilities, but this product is made by our office in Japan. Regarding the training, so there are many different options. You may go to Riga to have a training in Riga. We do trainings in Riga in our office. We may go on site to your company, and basically we as Zabbix company could deliver trainings in 3 languages, in English, Russian, and Latvian. And of course, since we have a training partners now, it's really easy now to get a training in your local language. Because there are some people, they don't know English, or maybe they prefer to get trained in their native language, so that's why trainings and training partners are very important. And basically, if you go to our website, you could see that at this moment we have 23 already scheduled trainings. Yeah, so it's in Latvia, in Brazil, in Japan, Russia, Italy, the Netherlands, Uruguay, and Sweden. All these trainings are planned and will be delivered very, very soon. And these are our trainers. Yeah, and Richard is very young on this photo. Okay. This year, we started providing webinars. And what is a webinar is basically, there are 2 types of webinars. One is introduction to Zabbix. It's kind of overview of the system. I'm talking about maybe the history of Zabbix, the history of a company, what Zabbix consists of, the different components, how to deploy Zabbix in the best possible way. It's kind of overview for those who wants to learn more about Zabbix, who wants to understand what Zabbix is, what's the advantages of Zabbix comparing to other products. And also, I think a few weeks ago, we started providing technical webinars. And the first technical webinar is about Zabbix performance tuning. Also, those webinars are not provided only by us, but again in English, but they are provided by our partners. So it's available in different languages. So again, if you're interested or you'd like to introduce Zabbix maybe to your managers, go to your manager, tell, okay, there is a webinar about Zabbix. If you want to learn more what Zabbix is, what is the Zabbix company, you're very welcome to do so. And actually, since we introduced webinars, we already have more than 1,000 of participants. So that's very nice, and it's a great interest in our webinars. So Zabbix 2.2 and where we are. I think this is quite interesting topic. So let me remind you the original plan. Originally, and that was introduced last year, we switched to a fixed 12 months release cycle. We are not there yet. And actually, the latest roadmap is available on our wiki, so you may go and see what the status of the latest development work, where we are currently in terms of development. And this was the original plan, basically. Okay, let me switch to this microphone. Okay, so yeah, originally we planned to release Zabbix 2.2 by the May of 1st. Now it's, remind me, it's September. It's still not released. Yeah, well, there are a number of reasons. I guess the reason number one is we probably a little bit underestimated amount of work required for new major features. And I will talk about major features of Zabbix 2.2 a little bit later. Now, where we are currently, again, we have fifth alpha of Zabbix 2.2 released just a few days ago, and the fifth alpha is coming with the great features. It's called the monitoring of VMware, so please have a look. And what alpha means, let me remind you. So alpha means that some features are implemented, not everything, but in our case, we have almost all features implemented. So just a few missing, yes? And alpha means that it's ready for testing. So please go to our website to download section and download the latest sources and try to use it in your environment. Great thing is that 2.2 is coming with automatic database upgrade. So you don't have to patch your database. You can use existing, of course, don't do it on production system, yeah? So just copy, maybe make a copy of your production database, deploy Zabbix, the fifth alpha version of Zabbix 2.2, and Zabbix will upgrade your database structure automatically as soon as you start Zabbix server. So it's very, very easy to start with. All right, so what's missing currently? A few features. I guess the number one feature, which is not implemented yet, but we are doing all our best to have it implemented in 2.2. It's alternative storage for history using basically shared libraries. Because currently everything you have in Zabbix, like configuration and history, is kept in a single database. And obviously, if history grows, you may end up with a database having, I don't know, tens, hundreds, or maybe terabytes of data. It's not easy to handle. It's not easy to make even a simple backup. It just takes some, well, it takes time, and the hardware requirements are quite high. Yeah. So this would allow us to split basically configuration and the history. So you may keep a history in a different database. Or alternatively, you may well, keep history not only in a relational database, MySQL, Postgres, whatever, but you may use in some NoSQL storages like well, like Cassandra, Hadoop, whatever. Yeah, or you can write even your own storage engine for Zabbix. Okay, so, and a few other minor features which are already developed, but they are in testing currently. Also. And as soon as we finish two things, those features, the first beta will be released immediately. And then we have to fix remaining issues. And at this moment, we have 18 known issues in our bug tracking system. Okay, so we have to fix all of them in order to declare Zabbix 2.2 stable release. Yeah, so please take your time and well, just have your time and help us to test how it works in your environment, how it works with your database, with your in your infrastructure. So I won't talk in too many details about all features of Zabbix 2.2 which are already implemented. I will talk about only a few major features. Tomorrow we are having a talk from Pavel, from our front-end developer. He will explain well, everything. He will cover everything, all features which are coming to 2. I will mention only a few features. First of all, this is a screenshot from Zabbix feature request tracker. Yeah. Basically, this is a list of feature requests which is available on support@zabbix.com. Just go to support@zabbix.com and see what's our top voted features. This is a screenshot from the last year. And I have to say that top 3 features are implemented in Zabbix 2.2. Okay? And top 3 features is some support of macros and graph names, templated web scenarios. So now you may have templates for web scenarios, and alerting on unknown triggers, and this is implemented. So if you look now, what's the feature number 1? It's an encryption. We will not introduce encryption in Zabbix 2.2. I believe it's very likely that it's coming in Zabbix 2.4. Yeah, but no, there will be no encryption in Zabbix 2.2 yet. Okay, so 3 major features which are coming in Zabbix 2.2. First of all, it's support of monitoring of VMware environment, which is very nice. It's just well, a picture I grabbed from VMware side, and this is how VMware virtualization basically works. It's a support of vSphere, and vSphere is basically the hypervisor, yeah. And also we have vCenter is kind of a management platform for vSphere. Zabbix will be able, and it's already available in alpha, to monitor VMware connecting directly to vSpheres, which is really nice. So if you have only a vSphere running with no vCenter, it will work. It will work absolutely fine. But also Zabbix is able to monitor the whole environment connecting to just directly to vCenter. We use native VMware API. Yeah, so it works. It works quite nice. But I have to admit that the VMware API it's quite. It's not complex. It's very heavy. It's resource heavy because it's based on XML. It's based on SOAP. You'd like to retrieve just a few values. You have to retrieve megabytes of XML stuff. It's not so efficient, but I guess we made a very great job of integrating and developing VMware. What's coming here? The auto discovery of guest VMs. From Zabbix point of view, what you do, you just add a hypervisor, like vSphere, or you point Zabbix to vCenter, and Zabbix will discover all virtual machines, and it will discover the hypervisor. So it will discover all virtual machines automatically. So, and in case if a virtual machine is migrated from one hypervisor to another, from one vSphere to another one, Zabbix will discover this as well. Okay, so it will be handled nicely by Zabbix. As part of support of VMware, we introduced host prototypes. So what is a host prototype? The host prototype is basically, it's kind of item prototype or trigger prototype we use for low-level discovery. But this is a way how to create hosts automatically based on information from low-level discovery. So Zabbix connects to vSphere using low-level discovery. It discovers virtual machines, this one, and that one, 4 virtual machines. And those virtual machines will be added automatically by Zabbix, and the host will be created. And in Zabbix you can see that, okay, this virtual machine is linked to this hypervisor, which is really, really nice. And support of host prototypes, it opens the door to support of different virtualization techniques like Xen, like KVM, various Linux containers, etc., etc. So we have a framework to monitor virtualized environments, and maybe it could be also used, I have to think about it, could be used for maybe in some cases for monitoring of cloud things like OpenStack more easily. The next is performance, and performance is always important. We made a number of significant improvements in Zabbix 2.2. Again, it's already available in alpha. Just have a look. First of all, Zabbix 2.2 will generate 100, maybe up to 1,000, 10,000 less update operations, SQL update operations on database server. In Zabbix 2.0, for each received value, we generated one update operation. We have to update items table if you go into more technical level. Yeah, so for each value we had to update the items table, and it was a real bottleneck. Yeah, so now we don't generate update operations for each received value, which is really nice. And you can, I'm absolutely sure, if you migrate from 2.0 to 2.2, you will see a significant drop in resource usage, CPU resource usage, and disk I/O on your database server. Very significant one. What we also introduced is the triggers will be much faster thanks to value cache. So what is value cache? If you use a complex trigger functions, like not so complex, but functions like minimum, maximum for a period of time, and in order to calculate the value of the function, Zabbix had to select information from historical tables. Basically just executed a select statement from historical table. In Zabbix 2.2, we have in-memory cache for history. Now, in order to calculate the minimum for a period of time, Zabbix is taking data out of memory. It doesn't call database, which is really nice. And the size of the value cache is configurable. So if you have a huge server with I don't know, terabyte of RAM, well, you can give, I don't know, tens of gigabytes to the value cache if you want. And it all depends on the complexity of your triggers, because you may have the minimum calculated for 1 day. It requires maybe, I don't know, megabyte of data to store in memory, or maybe you're calculating minimum for a month, yeah, or for a few weeks. It will obviously require more memory. And because of this, because of much lower load on the Zabbix database, I think that Zabbix front end would be much more responsive. At least that's what I see in our test environments. Yeah. The front end would be much more responsive. There will be no deadlocks problem, because on some heavy loaded Zabbix servers, sometimes you may experience deadlocks. Yeah, it all was because of those frequent updates of the item table. And if you ask me for the estimate, and I'm very bad at making estimates, especially when it comes to release dates. Yeah. But this is not about release date, it's about performance. So I would expect that Zabbix 2.2 will be at least 2 times faster than Zabbix 2.0, just because of those 2 changes. It all depends on used trigger expressions. So if you use lots of heavy trigger expressions, getting information from a history, you would probably expect much better performance, maybe not 2 times better, but up to 5 times, or maybe 10 times, I don't know. We haven't tested yet. It would be really nice to see real numbers from real customer production systems. And internal events. So let me explain what kind of problem we had in Zabbix 2.0. Suppose you have a very important trigger. Okay, very important trigger. And this trigger, for some reason, it goes into unknown state. It becomes unknown, and you never know. In Zabbix 2.0, there was no simple way how to alert on unknown triggers or not supported items. Okay, absolutely no way. Item, maybe you had the item which was based on a user parameter and user parameter called some shell script. This shell script doesn't exist anymore, and the item becomes not supported, and you don't know. Yeah. In Zabbix 2.2, we introduced internal events. Why we call them internal? Because those are events which are generated by Zabbix server itself. Yeah? And there will be two internal events. First is generated when trigger goes into unknown state, and another one when an item goes to not supported, in the not supported state. And now in the configuration of actions, you could add a condition like event type, item in not supported state, and I would like to get a notification. That's very nice. So as soon as you have a known trigger, or as soon as you have a not supported item, Zabbix administrator will get a message. Okay, this trigger became not unknown. Please have a look. This item became not supported. Please have a look and fix it. So that's very nice, and it really it really helps to discover problems as soon as they happen. Problems with items and problems with the triggers and some misconfiguration of items and triggers. Okay, so this was, now let me remind you about the end of life for support and our support policy. Our enterprise, the commercial support, Zabbix 1.6 is not supported. Zabbix 1.8, we are waiting till release of Zabbix 2.4. Okay, so the end of support of Zabbix 1.8 is as soon as Zabbix 2.4 is released. And for Zabbix 2.0 and Zabbix 2.2, we have 5 years support. So basically the the first 3 years, it's bug fixing. So we fix everything. Any problems, minor, major issues, blockers, whatever. And 2 years, it's a critical and security issues only. Okay, so this is how our support works currently. If you're running 1.8 or 1.6 or 1.4, 1.0, I would really suggest to upgrade to Zabbix 2.0. I think the Zabbix 2.0, this is our best release ever, 2.08. All right, just a few words about our strategy. Okay, we stay open source. That's our promise to our users, to our community, because recently Nginx introduced, they are going to open core way, so they basically introduced the Nginx. This is quite popular web server. They introduced, they are going open core way, so basically they had the community Nginx and enterprise or professional Nginx, which is kind of closed source product, and it comes for money. No, our promise, we have only one product, and our promise to our users is we are staying open source. So also we are trying to concentrate on enterprise level company, and one guy told me that how to understand if you're enterprise company or not enterprise company. Enterprise company means that 90% of all coding is done in XML. It means you're enterprise. If not, you're not enterprise yet. Okay, so we are trying to concentrate on enterprise level companies, but seriously, what means enterprise level company? It's company having many devices, well, thousands, tens of thousands of devices, and very complex well, infrastructure, and also with quite complex integration work. So Zabbix has to be installed there, but it has to be integrated with System A, System B, System C, and so on and so forth. Yeah? But in the same time, I'd like Zabbix to be a very nice solution for companies of all sizes, for small companies, medium companies, large companies, and so on. Also, we are trying to deliver improvements on a regular basis. Yeah, so again, with every major release, there are new features coming. There are new improvements coming, like performance improvements. So The performance is getting better and better with every major release. And again, we are trying to listen to customer needs, what users are saying, what our customers are saying, what our partners are saying. So again, if you need some feature in Zabbix, well, there are two ways. One way is you may come to us, pay for this feature, it will be implemented. It's kind of sponsored development work. Another way is just to go to support@zabbix.com, register your feature, and if it will be popular enough, we see this as feature which is really anticipated by many users, we will implement it eventually. I'm absolutely sure. Maybe not this year, not next year, but at some point it will be implemented. All right, so thank you very much, and enjoy the conference. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexey.
Maybe if you have any questions?
One question: why did you choose to develop your cache storage internal to the Zabbix server rather than use external projects that do this very well, such as Memcache, and which also will scale exponentially beyond what a physical computer could?
Well, no, not at all. I didn't say that we are developing our internal. Well, it's a kind of a different storage engine. Not at all. It's all about API. Yeah.
Your cache value store for
oh yes.
for
Okay.
triggers.
Yeah.
That you said you made it sound like that was an internal to the Zabbix server.
Oh
system.
yeah. Okay, I understand.
Why didn't you use something like Memcache for that?
Because we need much better performance than Memcache.
Really?
Yeah. We need a little bit different API to the storage engine. It's not like a key value. There are many key value storages around, but it's not about having keys and receiving values, because we need to get data for a period of time in a very efficient way. And also, again, if you use a Memcache, and Memcache is running on a separate server, there is a latency, and it will kill performance very soon. Yeah, okay.
You said how you work with feature request, with community, but how you work necessary with community, with pull request or something about?
Okay, so regarding the handling of a new feature request, yeah, how we handle feature.
How you work with pull request, not feature request, with patches for Zabbix?
Oh, okay, so we don't use GitHub, so we don't have any pull requests. So, but honestly, yes. There are some patches coming from different sources. So mostly in our bug tracking system, there are some patches. And our policy is basically, we have very strict development procedure. All development work we do, it's independently tested first, it's code reviewed, so we cannot take patch as it is. And it takes so much time to make a code review for a huge patch. In many cases, almost in 99% of cases, it's much easier for us to rewrite the huge patch from scratch rather than trying to fix those issues in this patch. Okay, so we are not quite happy about accepting large patches, but very happy about accepting small fixes, patches, maybe one-page patches. That's absolutely fine. At this moment, we are not so good at communicating with external developers, just because we have very strict the conic standards and procedures.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Will there be more questions to Alexey? Well, in this case, thank you very much, Alexey.
Thank you very much.